Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Underrail Expedition. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you're chose to join me today in Fort Apogee, talking to Consul Oliver, as he tells us about the next phase of working for the Protectorate, I believe. Why did Ambassador Athana send me to you and not directly to the commanding officer of Fort Apogee? The reason for that is simple, Carrie. You will have a dual purpose here. Let's call it like that. Well, on one side, you are a member of Southgate Station, or our trading partner. Excuse the hiccup. And hopefully one day a full member. We already cooperate with Miss Vera Hale, but on a limited scale. With you here, we are building a closer diplomatic connection with the SGS, and that is why it's deliberate for the two of us to get to know each other well. Also, we're taking a slight detour when it comes to you becoming a member of the armed forces. This is usually not the way the willing join Underrail Protectorate ranks, am I right? Don't worry, we have already convinced the Colonel, and I'm sure he'll see your qualities quickly. Which brings us to the other part of that dual purpose I was telling you about, but I better leave that part to the good Colonel to explain. He's certainly better suited for it than I am. Who's in charge of Fort Apogee? Colonel Frederick Cathcart has been in charge since Fort Apogee's deployment. You will meet him soon enough. The ambassador told me I will be performing important tasks for the Protectorate. Can you tell me more about that? That question is more suited for the Colonel Cathcart, who will soon become your superior officer. Still, know that everything you do will be for the ultimate betterment of the region. Most military operations here relate to fighting bandits or the dreadful free drones. Again, all for the betterment of the citizenry in the region. You will, as I told, be tasked with performing things of greater importance. Okay, I'm good. Can we move on? Excellent, that's important. Everything should be clear. Now we can proceed. The next step should be meeting the Colonel. Now, I've already talked to him about the train, the free drones, the political situation, etc. Just so you know that he's familiar with the details. You should see him now. His office is right next to mine. After you're done with him, please come see me once you have time. I have something I wish to discuss with you. That is that, Carrie. Talk to the Colonel, and we will see each other later. Au revoir. Is Oliver supposed to be like Olivier? Maybe? That's supposed to be French on purpose? I forgot the Colonel's voice. Yes? Oh, I remember the Colonel's voice. It was a booming voice. Yes? Yeah, I talked to Consul Oliver, and he told me to see you. Oh, so that part is done. Very good. Good. And now allow me to properly introduce myself. I'm Colonel Frederick Cathcart, base commander of Fort Apogee, the headquarters of Underrail Protectorate military operations in South Underrail. Your name is known to me already, Carrie. I have heard a lot about you so far, and I have yet to confirm if all that is indeed true. Care for a cup of mushroom tea? Oh yeah, I would like a cup of tea, thank you. That's what I like to hear, Carrie. He lifts the phone from the base and presses a few buttons. I thought it was going to pour me some tea, but apparently not. Miss Trey, he says, Miss Trey, would you be so kind to order 2 cups of mushroom tea for me and my guest? Excellent, in my office. Right, good. To order 2 cups. It's like we're in a restaurant. He leans back into his chair. Now we wait. Where were we? Yes. From what I understand, you want to join the Protectorate forces. Why is that, Carrie? What is your take on this hell we live in? Out of all these different factions you could choose from, why Underrail Protectorate? Well, as long as the coin is good, I'm up for anything. And the Protectorate seems to be one of the wealthiest factions around. Honest and straightforward, I have to say. You could have told me anything at all. Any of one of the stock responses regarding creating a better future and all that, yet you chose that very response. I have no illusions that most Southerners join our ranks for economic reasons. It's supposed to be plural. Personal and family security and other benefits, but as long as they're willing to accept discipline, integration, and above all, duty, then they are welcome here. The woman you saw out front enters the office. The Colonel smiles. Miss Trey, how lovely. One is for Miss Carey and one for me. Thank you. And she puts the cup down and leaves the office. Well, now that the tea is here, how about I explain to you your duties here and all the other necessities? He takes a sip. Oh, good, good, nice and hot. So listen up. Carey, you will, should you choose so, become a member of the Underrail Protectorate. You will not be a part of any existing force. Your role will be a bit more specialized. I will be your commanding officer, and you will answer directly to me and me only. My word is the law here, remember that. So does that sound acceptable to you? Will you join the Protectorate? Yeah, it is acceptable. I'm ready to join the Protectorate. Very, very good. You will refer to me as Sir, and according to proper military etiquette, a junior officer always salutes her superior first. I suggest you familiarize yourself with proper military etiquette, because from now on, I will accept no excuses. Am I clear so far? Yes, sir. That's what I like to hear. For your assistance in the recovery of the captured train and for dedication to Protectorate. I'm missing a lot of this today. For your dedication to the Protectorate, potentially anyway, you are promoted to the rank of Corporal. And with that, you are allowed nearly full access to Fort Apogee, its food service, armory, mechanical shop, sleeping and training quarters, and so forth. While we're at it, you are advised to see Staff Sergeant Fraser, who, when you have the time, he is in charge of your payment, and you can purchase equipment from him at any time. Do note that you will need United Station dollars to purchase anything in Fort Apogee. Staff Sergeant can also help you with that. Well, thank you, sir. Is that all, sir? Thank me by showing your dedication to the Protectorate, I suppose, and the United Stations. We're far from over, Corporal. It just so happens that I have a mission for you. Let's see what you're made of, Corporal. What can you tell me about Fort Apogee? Corporal, as you can witness for yourself, Fort Apogee is the main Protectorate base in South Underrail. It's been 5 years since Protectorate first arrived to the south, and we plan to stay here until law and order is brought to this hell. It is hell, Corporate. You know it yourself. There were many obstacles in our way. Some are still present, but Fort Apogee still stands. True, we are being resisted by anarchists, bandits, and the like, but those are easy to deal with most of the time due to our military superiority. Logistics, that is a bigger issue, but the bad public opinion of the Protectorate is perhaps the largest obstacle we have to overcome, unfortunately. Fort Apogee should be the symbol of law, order, protection, not tyranny and oppression, even though it is, as anarchists constantly claim. Oh, right, okay, it was gonna be really weird for him to say that, but no, he's defending himself from what the free drones they are called, from what the free drones accuse them of being. So just, painting it in a different light. And it is something we are working on, Corporal. The symbol of law, order, and protection. You are part of the Protectorate now, Corporal. Never forget why we're here and what we fight for. What can you tell me about Consul Oliver? Consul Oliver is a man of diplomacy, which is desirable, considering he is the consul. I have great respect for him and can rely on him. I must add that I am not someone who firmly believes that all issues can be resolved through superior firepower. But there are many occasions where exactly that is needed, and that is the reason the Protectorate exists in the first place. When all hell breaks loose, it is our duty to deal with it and enforce order. Consul Oliver, unfortunately, often fails to realize that, and comes to my office proposing certain diplomatic alternatives, ones I know cannot be applied in that particular case. Impossible. Corporal, sometimes it's just impossible. I don't know what the colonel is talking about, but anyway. Luckily, in those situations, I make the final decisions, no matter how difficult they sometimes are, Well, I'm ready to start my first briefing, sir. He smiles. That's what I like to hear, Corporal. Listen up. For your first mission, I'm sending you to Epione Lab, currently under Protectorate control. It's here in Upper Underrail, to the west of Fort Apogee. Oh, I don't think I've been there. A relic from the times of Biocorp, Corporal, abandoned a long time ago. What you need to know is that it's now under Protectorate control, and is a strategic location of extreme importance. So I was contacted by Captain Blackwall, and the commanding officer there, and he informed me his patrols reported several strange sightings in the vicinity of Epion Lab. You are to report to the captain and assist him with this little problem. Once you are finished with him, report back to me. Am I clear so far? Yes, sir. Loud and clear, sir. Good. That's what I like to hear. Anything else you want to know before you head there? How do I get to Epion Lab? There are 2 ways to get there, starting from Fort Apogee. If you head north, turn south at the first intersection. If you head south, turn north at the first intersection. It's pretty straightforward. You know you're on the right track if you follow the blue metro line. It will lead you to the train station that takes you to Epion Lab. Well, thank you very much for that. I didn't actually mean to press that as fast as I did, but that's pretty good. Nancy, oh, she just sighs. I was gonna say I'm now a corporal, but she's not having any of this. Ah, corporal, come on in. What can I do for you? You mentioned you wanted to discuss something with me? Indeed I have, corporal. The situation I'm about to explain to you is not something that occurs often. And I can't pronounce this word. I cannot. In all honesty, this is the first time it has happened, at least as far as I'm aware. Perhaps that is the reason the colonel asked for my opinion on this. Can you tell me what happened? Yes, I can. He takes a deep breath. We have a problem with several Protectorate soldiers that have gone renegade. It happened before you arrived, not too long ago. A squad under the command of SFC Timothy Holloway simply left Fort Apogee. I don't trust that head over there. No one ever said anything. Nothing happened that could suggest why they would leave. Nothing at all. They simply left. Yes, that head shouldn't be there. SFC was that? Sergeant First Class. Please, Corporal. I do, please, Consul. Do you know where they are now? They have entrenched themselves, or so I've been told, in one of the stations. It's, for crying out loud. Yes, Dolos Center, that's it. It's all the way to the west, past Core City Station. Oh, those are the renegades that we fought. I knew it. I told you we were going to have to go there on a Protectorate mission. I remembered that. So what do you want me to do? Well, Corporal, I want you to go find them and negotiate their return. The offense is quite serious, and the Colonel was ready to take drastic measures. I convinced him to allow me to send someone to attempt a more diplomatic approach first. You're an outsider, dear Corporal, or you were when the Sergeant's squad went renegade, so it is my belief that they should feel less threatened by you. If you play your cards right, you were in no way connected to any of the recent goings-on in Fort Apogee. You couldn't have been, so the more neutral they perceive you to be, the better. What will happen to them if I convince them to come back? As I've said before, what they did is a serious offense. Court-martial most certainly awaits them, and the usual penalty for desertion is, well, death. However, if they surrender peacefully, return might be a better word. If they return peacefully, then perhaps their punishment wouldn't be as severe, considering that SFC Holloway has an outstanding record. Everything is up to the Colonel Cathcart in the end. So what do you say to all this? Sure, I'll do it. Brava, just brava. It's not gendered. Bravo doesn't mean that you are brave. I don't actually know where it comes from, but I do know that it's not gendered. At least not in Portuguese, because we say bravo as well. And English says the bravo, because O's at the end don't sound ooh in English. They do in Portuguese, and I'm pretty sure in Italian as well, which is, I think, where it's coming from. Anyway, I've told you everything I know, dear Corporal. If you need more information, the Colonel is your best bet. Good luck on your mission. Well, I'm glad I didn't kill them, then. At ease, Corporal. Yes, I want to save before I tell you this, because this is interesting. About the renegade soldiers, sir. So the Consul told you about those deserters. They're a disgrace, Corporal, a true disgrace to everything you stand for. What is it you wanted to ask? Do you know why they deserted, sir? I don't know the exact reason, Corporal, although I was told by some of the officers that Holloway started acting strangely, that he was becoming more unstable. He even threatened one of them, as I was told once. Did they come back from a mission before they left Fort Apogee, or did something happen in the base, perhaps? The Colonel hesitates for a second. All the mission details that the Sergeant's squad was a part of are classified, therefore I can't comment on them. Next question, he says, as if you were under interrogation or giving a press conference. Why didn't you send troops to apprehend them, sir? Corporal, the penalty for desertion is death. It has been, and always will be, hopefully. If this were anything else, I'd have sent troops to apprehend the deserters without delay and court-martial them. If they couldn't be apprehended, well, they would be executed, pure and simple. But Tim Holloway is a decorated veteran who has served his duty with excellent dedication and results. So I'm willing to be a bit more tolerant, if, and only if, they surrender immediately. If they refuse, Corporal, it will be interpreted as a sign of aggression, and that's the second time the word interpreted is used in a very specific context, where it really shouldn't be used, because that's the way you talk about other people and not you. So he says, if they refuse, that I will take that to mean aggression towards me, and they will have to be dealt with accordingly. You need to be that's a transitive verb, or actually, that's a different. It has a different meaning. To be dealt and to be dealt with are two completely different things. So it needs to be dealt with. It doesn't have to be. It's not necessarily a transitive verb, or that's not the issue there. What can you tell me about the SFC Holloway? Tim is a decorated veteran. He and his men are some of the best in the force. They've been through a lot of missions, dangerous missions, some pure hell, and have shown dedication, bravery, and honor. Yet they deserted the Protectorate, and did so in a critical period. Some officers told me he was starting to lose it, but I don't know. The only reason we're trying to negotiate this is because of his squad's previous record. Nothing else. Punishment awaits them, that is certain. But if they show reason, it might mitigate their sentence. What should I do if the negotiations fail? If you find yourself in a difficult situation, Corporal, then by all means you're allowed to defend yourself. Otherwise, just report back to Consul, or the Consul. We'll do the rest. What would happen if the rest of the squad if SFC Holloway was somehow removed? Removed? Well, Corporal, I don't know what would happen. Those men are loyal to him, but I think they could perhaps be easier to convince to surrender in that case. Or they could decide to go out in a blaze of glory. One can never be sure. In a blaze of glory. Somehow finding it very difficult to believe that people would want any of that in a setting like this, where you're locked up in caves. Nobody ever knows when you die. There's no blaze of glory. Nobody's gonna sing of you. There's no news. There's no nothing. There's just you dying. The blaze certainly might be there, though. Anyway, oh, look at that. The soldier that was blocking that path is now gone. Let's have a chat with Kaze over here. Maybe I can do something about... Yeah. You approach a strapping young lad. He seems to be working with great speed and precision, serving the soldiers, talking to the cook, and even noticing you standing outside of the queue, attempting to start a conversation. Oh, Corporal, hello. First time seeing you here. Actually, it's not, but anyway, I forget when we saw each other. Welcome to the DFAC. That's the name of this place. Better known as the mess hall. As you can probably tell, we're quite busy here, running low on rat hound stew cost. He turns to the cook as he says that. Everyone calls me Kaze, ma'am, especially when they're hungry. But then it often sounds like, hey, Kaze, step it up, boy. We're starving here. Sure. Does everyone eat here, or just the soldiers? Well, ma'am, the mess hall is for everyone. Everyone from Fort Apogee, that is. Soldiers, workers, mechanics, medical staff, officers. It makes the atmosphere a bit more interesting, in my opinion. For instance, you see Luca, our head mechanic, and Anastasia, Dr. Merrick, sitting together and chatting. Two completely different people, different backgrounds, jobs. They sit down, chat, joke, or discuss important subjects like childhood friends, even though they're far from it. But others are not so friendly. Some northerners here feel that they shouldn't socialize with us southerners. That is, like, for example, Staff Sergeant Fraser. Really, I need to talk to Fraser. Why did you join the Protectorate? Opportunity presented itself, ma'am. I'm a southerner, just like you. I wanted to, just a second. He counts the dollars and gives the change back to one of the soldiers. Yeah, thanks. Enjoy your meal. Where was I? Oh, yeah. I wanted to get away from all that and help my fellow southerners. I think this is a rotten place to live in. poverty, death, disease, people. Then Underrail Protectorate arrived. United Stations, unification. It seemed like the right idea at the time. Still does, actually. So he hates people, but he wants to help people. That's interesting. So how did you end up in the mess hall? I have some knee issues. Rotten thing. No, I mean, not literally, of course. It's just, well, not of course, but anyway. It's just, I wasn't meant to be a soldier, Corporal. So you're gonna stand, yeah, you're gonna stay standing up all day. That's not gonna be better for your knee. Your knee is gonna disappear. What can you tell me about the free drones? I can't talk about that, Corporal. Forgive me. It's complicated. Oh, come on, tell me when the queue clears, if it's something you don't want everyone to hear. He considers it for several moments, looking really uncomfortable. Still, your words seem to have persuaded him. Okay, let's wait for the queue to clear. Just another moment. After the queue finally disperses, Case leans on the counter and whispers to you. Free drones. I know several people who are members, fighters, however you want to call them. Oh, and this stays between us, of course, ma'am. Anyway, I've known those people since childhood. They were good kids. Good men and women later. I couldn't, because they transitioned. I couldn't possibly imagine them joining an anarchistic group, a violent group like the Free Drones. You have friends there? Do you still see them? Of course not. Are you derailed? Ma'am, if anyone was to find out... Look, I know they are our enemies, and the drones are ruthless and rotten and everything, but I always think of my childhood friends. They're always in my head whenever I hear drones mentioned. What if they are killed somewhere, captured? What if I see them again and they see me working for the Protectorate? It's confusing. Do you dig? I mean, understand what I mean, Corporal? Yeah, I understand. Life is not black and white, as some would like to believe. Thank you for listening, Corporal. Thank you. Let's change the subject. Where in Fort Apogee can I exchange currencies? Staff Sergeant Fraser can help you with that, Corporal. What can you tell me about him? Corporal, you know how they often say, if you can't say something nice about someone, don't say anything at all. I've heard this thing. Consul Oliver? Well, ma'am, I respect the consul, I really do. And he's a very dedicated man, one who believes that the unification should be accomplished primarily through diplomatic means, which is unlike some of the recent shoot first and ask questions later kind of policies, but he needs to have, he needs bigger stones, ma'am. Fort Apogee is an odd place, in some things stranger than the rest of South Underrail. You need to elbow your way through if you want something done. And the poor consul, he just plays it too nice. But again, I respect him, I really do, and I'm not the only one. Colonel Cathcart? Well, ma'am, his work is rather difficult, I can tell you. He has to deal with a lot of, problems. All South Underrail troops are under his direct command, so it takes a real man to be able to coordinate that. Is he the man? I think he is. It can be a rotten place. South Underrail, you and me know it, Corporal. 5 years ago, the Protectorate had no presence in the South. Now, I mean, we'd have more if Core City wasn't in the way, but still, look at us now. We're expanding our influence. I think the South will benefit from it. I really do. Luca? Do I know Luca? Hey, he's a fellow Southerner, just like you and me, ma'am. One from Core City. First man I befriended in this rotten place. Whoops, I didn't mean it that way. Although, my first days here sort of felt like that. Anyway, he's the head mechanic. You can find him in the mech bay. He fell in love with dreadnoughts from the moment he laid his eyes on the beasts. And I can't blame him. Those machines are nice. Hardcore. We often hang out near the ring. Have a few brews. Okay, a lot of brews. You're free to join us, Corporal, if you have the time and will. Anastasia? His expression saddens. You know, if you ask people about Dr. Merrick, everyone immediately goes, oh, poor woman, her voice is ruined. She this, she that. Move aside, I mean, really. Look past that, and you don't need to constantly yap about it and show that you recognize how difficult it is for her. Talk about the good, about her being a great person, a great doctor, you dig? I mean, not you, but the people around her. Or around here, I suppose. Personally, it's my honor to put food on her plate every day, and I make sure I always greet her with a smile. She deserves it. Her voice. Interesting. What can you tell me about the Faceless? I've heard stories of tunnelers, better known as Faceless since I was a little kid, but I never believed any of that. Now, that story is different. Everyone is aware of them, and everyone is afraid of those rotten cyborgs, whatever they are. It's not their looks, it's not their weapons, or their huge tunneling machines that frightens everyone. It's that we know so little about them. You dig? I mean, understand what I'm saying, ma'am? It's the fear of the unknown that makes the Faceless so dreadful. Sure thing. This is kind of, almost the game trying to hype its own characters up, but it's not quite. In this case, it is just a character. I think this just is a character telling that he's afraid. It's like, because it's his particular take, and it's a take that is spreading for everyone, but it's not necessarily true. It's not that everyone is afraid of the Faceless because we don't know enough about them. There's people who are afraid of the Faceless because they shoot them, for sure. But it isn't quite the game being like, oh, they're so scary. We made such a scary monster. Ooh, scary. Yeah, I'll leave it to your job. Case, see you later. Now, Dr. Anastasia is not here. I wonder if she is supposed to be here, because he talks about her as if she were. I think that's where we found, that's the mech bay, maybe? Or that's where we found the, I don't remember the name. The person that fell in love with the dreadnoughts. Frazier. Nope, not the person who fell in love with the dreadnoughts. The quartermaster, as far as I'm aware. But we also found the end of the episode, because for right now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Underrail Expedition. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment. Like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later. But above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.